Yes, it's KLONA Conversation and we are back. Hi, how are you? How have you been? Thank you for liking, subscribing, checking on us, loving us. We love you too. Today we are doing an episode of Zero to Hero and we have someone so special. Someone who started from zero and he's a hero. He's my hero. Katigwamanyi. Anyway, I have someone who is gone through the stages, suffered like you. I mean, the normal life, like the twina made it, the twina fees, how will I get a job? But right now he's made it and I want him to encourage you. On our episode of Zero to Zero, we brought someone who is, hello. Good,
Thanks
how
for
are
having
you?
me. Thank you very much.
My viewers want to know who you are. Of course, they know who you are, but go on. Yeah.
That's tough.
A little bit.
My name is Solomon Serwajja, and I am a journalist. I'm an investigative journalist, but I'm also the team leader at the African Institute for Investigative Journalism.
Okay.
I am a father and husband. I have 4 lovely children.
Wow.
And a lovely wife.
Okay.
And wow, what else? I've been doing journalism for the last 1.5 decades. That's about 15 years. Won some awards, about 40 awards.
Which one of your awards is your biggest?
The biggest award, I think it's the BBC World News Komla Dumu Award.
Kwajirako sente, Solomon.
Ate kwajirako sente, but it came along with a lot of opportunities.
Okay.
Including working with the BBC, you know, being on the BBC, on TV, reading news.
Okay.
Meeting some of the best editors. At world international level, it opened up very many opportunities for me. I mean, I traveled the world.
Wow.
I stayed in London for about 8 months.
How many countries have you been to?
So many. I have been to so many, about 40.
Simanyi gwe kyoliko naye ye wano. He's been to 40 countries. Did you ever thought that you would be to 40 countries, move the world, get awards as you grow up?
I don't know, but the thing is, I was this ambitious boy who, when he wanted something, he would go for it. He would go against all odds to get it.
Okay. So growing up, how was life?
Tough. I've always said it, I grew up with my grandmother, so I'm a Jaja's boy. I don't know why everyone will tell I'm a Jaja's boy. They say
Jaja boy tebamugambako. Jaja boy alina empisa ebi tebagamba. Were you that kind of child?
Yeah, I did, but this time my grandma used to be, you know, a disciplinarian, but she was a good person. She's a good, actually she's still here, she's a good person. She's a little bit ill, but I'm praying she gets fine. But she really raised me up.
What reasons took you to Jaja?
Well, that's so deep. Yeah,
we want.
That's so deep, but yeah, my grandma raised me up from when I was a little child until when I'm grown up. I left home after university. So from this little boy turned into a man. Eventually university, then left, you know, got a girlfriend. And
so for you to understand life, it was Jaja?
It was my grandmother who taught me a lot.
Before that, you have no idea?
Well, my mother, of course, birthed me, but I spent the better part of my life with my grandmother.
So is Jaja mommy, Jaja daddy?
Both, Jaja mommy and Jaja daddy.
Bombi wakula nabo. You grew up with both of them.
Okay, so Jaja from my mom's side
is the one who took over.
Is the one who took over.
Oh, okay. So what was so tough when you say life is tough? What was tough?
I mean, it was really tough growing up. You know, she was a nurse, and she used to take care of us, of course, with
other
grandpa.
People.
They used to hustle. They raised many of grandchildren, by the way, and I celebrate them.
Okay.
They raised different grandchildren at home, so we grew up with cousins from different, you know, but we grew up as family, and yeah, it was a hustle raising them up. Right now, when you see them, they are big people.
And rich people.
And rich.
Okay.
And really.
So, did they have money?
I don't think I am qualified to say they had money.
Do you have all your meals?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
No. Were you sleeping alone?
Alone? No. How? How do you sleep
No,
alone?
those are the things I need to hear,
No,
Solomon.
we used to have a boys' room and a girls' room. Gamwena muyiwo.
Mugwawo.
Mugwawo.
Ne maybe asinga amanyi asika blanket. That kind of
Yeah.
Really?
But yeah, we used to have a boys' room and a girls' room, and yeah, and they really worked hard to make us survive
that
through the
basic.
tough times.
But at least we are going to school.
Yes, we were going to school. My mother used to pay my school fees. My grandmother used to top up on so many things, and they really nursed me. You know, I think I was the most beloved.
What was the hardest part of your growing up that you really think my viewers should know? So when they hear that you get the BBC award, oh, okay, I'll make it.
Growing up through school, it was difficult to get school fees sometimes. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes it would come. My mother used to really hustle so much to raise the school fees. Sometimes she would go and get loans from her small circles, and sometimes she would say it's not school fees, but you know, somehow she found her way around, and she kept me in school until when she passed on. But yeah, she really was central. She worked so hard, but it was, I think the toughest time of my life was in senior 4. Towards third term when we were supposed to do exams, and there was no school fees. So, you know, we were going to do exams, but there's no money. You haven't paid school fees. I remember when they refused me to enter the first examination room because I didn't have tuition. I didn't have.
Do the first paper.
So I cried. I remember it was.
Hey, I know you.
When I don't cry. I don't cry. But that day was tough. I cried.
Okay, that day was tough.
I remember when, you know, how you make queues and people are entering the exam room, and they say, "Gwe sigala wali, tonaba kusasula school fees," and then they started the exam. So I remember going to the head teacher, and, you know, and I was a bright boy. I told him, at least allow me to do these exams. When the exams come back, don't give me the results.
Until I pay.
Yeah, I cried. So the head teacher then went, talked to the invigilator about 45 minutes into the paper. So you can imagine you're outside.
And the paper is 1.5 hours.
Yeah, you're seeing people inside. Because I remember there were practicals. I think it was chemistry practicals, senior 4. And, you know, looking at your friends doing their final, this is final. So if you don't sit, it means you repeat.
You've lost a year.
You've lost a year. And they're there and you're outside. And you're seeing them. They are putting on. So
The yellow
busy,
things
the
pouring,
yellow
the
things.
chemicals,
Ngagoli
they're
way.
turning purple.
Ngagoli way.
Bambi.
It was very painful.
Must have been hard.
And, you know, I remember this guy looking at me and said, "Okay,
Go
you
to the
can
paper."
go in." I called my mom. My mom is crying because I'm telling her, "Banganyo kole bibuzo." My mom is crying. She has looked for money. And
Jajja aliwa wano.
Jajja yenga
I know.
byasiba bye bikutuka. But eventually this guy accepts me to
go into the paper.
to go into the exam. And I did my exam and finished senior 4. And
Performed well?
I did well, but not as I had been expected to do.
Yeah,
but
because
I
of that
passed.
drama.
Yeah, I passed, and I went then to high school, where a good Samaritan picked me up and started paying my tuition until senior 6.
Wow.
Who never knew me at all, you know.
It's that you don't have school fees.
Well, God does things miraculously.
So in the process, between senior 4 VAC into HSC, what were you thinking? Did you ever think of dropping out of school?
Well, I had little hope that my mother would pull through, but you know, she was a hustler. She tried her best. Sometimes she would do everything in her powers as a parent to take us to school. Me and my
So you were
sister
confident, but that by the time she failed,
she had tried her best.
she had tried her best.
Sometimes you try everything and all you have to do is, you know, I've tried, I've given it my best. A good Samaritan picked me up along the way, and they were able to pay my tuition.
For 5 and 6.
Yeah, and I'm here.
And campus?
Campus, I got a government scholarship.
Wow,
And then
kulika.
I did.
But you had no choice.
So yeah, I did my university on scholarship. I did my postgraduate diploma on scholarship. I did my master's on scholarship. Wow. I didn't ever pay school fees again.
Wow. Wow.
And I'm going to do my PhD on
Must
scholarship.
have been the prayers you prayed that time. That's good.
So I don't know. Yeah, it was tough growing up.
But apart from school fees, was there anything else that was so hard?
At that time, you're worried and constant to school fees, right?
Never tell you.
No, Talia, you have to go to school.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went through. I mean, sometimes you'd go to school and break.
Of course.
But my grandmother used to actually give me 1,000 shillings. I remember. Oh, she was amazing.
1,000? 1,000 zali nyingi pani ali wa 10 solo wa 10.
Waliwo buno obw'ebitaano obujjukira obwali wa papo.
Bwabiri kali kabiri.
Wa bitaano abiri naliyo ku gwe babiri kabiri. Waliyo ku mulembe gwa kabiri. Yes.
So, as you're there, you're struggling with school fees for tuition, for university, you're struggling to get a job. You're not alone. We've all gone through it. But today I brought Solomon to share his story, and you get to know that you're not alone. Keep praying, keep persevering. Don't lose hope. As we come back, please don't tune off. Share with your friends to know this.
Obulamu obweyagaza butandika n'amaka amayooyoote obulungi. Tuukiriza ekirooto ky'okwezimbira ennyumba naffe ku ZEC Systems. Tukuleetedde Birds View Estate Kavule. Poloti zaffe nsava ate nga ssente ntono nnyo. Ku miliyoni 15 zokka weefunire poloti eya 5 ku 10. Poloti zaffe nteeketeeke bulungi kubanga amazzi n'amasannyalaze weebiri. Birds View Estate Kavule esangibwa ku Semuto Road kilomita 8 okuva e Matugga. Ate wulira kino, ensasula ya mpola mpola. Tulina ne poloti mu bitundu ebirala nga Bugema ku miliyoni 19, Dundu miliyoni 23, Namayumba miliyoni 8 ne Busiika miliyoni 17. Tukubireko oba tukyalire ku ofiisi zaffe e Matugga ne Kampala. ZEC Systems ku lw'enkulaakulanayo.
About Zero to Hero, we have Solomon Serwajja, the investigative journalist here, and he was sharing his story, how things were tough. But of course, you don't know him for things being tough. I'm sure you've seen him on TV and you're thinking, those are the Kololo boys. Yeah, but from what we've had in the previous minutes, it's not about that. So, Solomon, as you went through campus on scholarships and life changed, how did you get into the employment world?
No, I think it's important for me to mention that when you get an opportunity to study, please use it. You know,
I have put down very many because of pregnancy, giving birth.
No, if you have an opportunity to study, whether you're in primary or secondary or university, please go and study, because it's important that you have education. You know, it equalizes the poor and the rich.
Sure.
Yeah, I think there's a famous statement that education is an equalizing factor. You know, if you study, you will be having the same opportunity, whether you're from a rich family or broke family. You'll present your papers, and those papers will speak to you, will speak for you. So, for your viewers or our viewers who are watching us, if you have an opportunity to study, don't waste it. Go and study, finish school. But when you have the opportunity to study, there are many people who don't have an opportunity to study.
toyagala kusoma.
So education is very important.
So it helped you a lot.
It did, because then katinga solo wawe nga ntandikirawo.
Kizibu.
And
So how
it's
did
on
you
your paper.
roll
So
into the work?
the thing was about passion. I
Anyway,
had passion
what
for
did you do
media.
for campus?
My bachelor's was in environmental science. I did postgraduate in investigative journalism. Then I did a master's in journalism and communication. And yeah, PhD.
So
I am now thinking, that one I put aside. So when I finished university, my passion was to be on radio. There used to be this lady called Lady Bizo, and she used to be on Kampala FM, and I used to love her so much. Yeah, Yogera Bulungi, Aina Energy. She's a lovely woman. Ninga Yogera Bulungi. You know, she was just a powerful lady, and I keep talking about her every time I'm given an opportunity to speak. She gave me an opportunity, so I went to Kampala FM.
To help her, to see her?
To see her.
And you tell her,
have an
I like
appointment?
this. No,
No,
definitely not.
please sit or go. Nensigala waawo.
Naye Solomon walinamu olwa aggressive.
Olina
The
okubeera
ability to think kangende ntomere.
kangere ntomere ate kakyonaakola oti
Exactly.
nitulabeke n'afulumaga how can I love your voice, I love how you do it.
Thank you.
Now, thank you, what can I do for you? Omanyi mwoyo mweraga
Siriimu.
nemutweragirako. She gave me an opportunity. Now you're going to producer. Nangamba, come back tomorrow and we start working
Together.
Radio.
Nga intern like.
So I learned how to use the mixer. I learned how to use the console, how to do intros, outros.
Nga bakuwa ku ssente oba byabwerere. But you see, the people out there, the girls, the kids out there, even also nomugamba jangu ojje tujja kwa emitwalo asatu oyige kyoyiga, you get another job from here. Nagamba nedda ssebo.
We actually did work for free for all this time.
For how long?
I worked with Kampala FM for about 6-7 months. Paka Jajo yangamba muna transport charge.
Jajja.
Because she was the one who used to pay me school, to pay me
transport.
Nintula. Before I knew it, I got an opportunity at Magic 100 FM.
Because they had seen you at Kampala FM.
Had me, yes. And
people out there don't do those things anymore. They want money. They can't come to learn.
Money ojenga chicho money.
Anti kati agamba sina transport.
Ati kati gwa fiwa kwanga skill onajijawa.
Encourage them, Solomon, because they are really, really.
When you get an opportunity to go, you go and do. You get a skill. You get to learn a thing or two because it's that skill that you want. And allow me just talk about skill set. These days we've gone beyond education. Wobo ina skill. Echinchima ito omukono.
Choina chomanyi.
Chomanyi over, for example, kuba ebifananyi. You know how to operate a camera. You know how to shoot. You know how to edit. Omuntu okumanya how to edit using Premiere Pro wetaga kuba na masters or degree. A senior 4 person or a senior 6 wategera interface wekola. He will come and edit. You know, photography, videography, skill set. Jetulaga, the future is not in your masters or PhD or what you studied for.
Though we need them.
We need them
to equalize.
Yeah, but if you have a skill set, do you know what it means to actually employ the best cameraman in this country? At least the person I've worked with and I know is one of the best. He charges $300 per day.
You can imagine.
Now, if he's charging $300 per day and you're going to work with him for a whole week, that is $3,000 in a week. You know what I mean?
Chokanga skill.
That's a skill because he has perfected his art. Katigwe oina skill chi.
Okay.
Chichi olina omulala kyatalina nti bajja kugamba nti twagala Serwajja yabakikola ne baba ali busy tujja mulinda. You know, if you're doing and you know when you get a skill ne kuba kuzimba ne kuba kubajja ne kuba kuba piano
ne kuba kusimula
ne kuba kusimula
for us to do cleaning.
Do it. Do it so well because it's a skill. You have it. You have it.
You will earn from
your
it.
skill and you'll earn from it.
Okay.
You see.
So what else has helped you from education, skill sets? What else that has helped you to go through that ladder?
I think it's passion.
Passion.
When you love what you do, payment is not the reason why you do it, but it's a reward.
NTV, maybe you didn't have money.
No, the money, you see,
The money is there.
When you work for the money, then you begin to grumble. I don't know if you've been to the newsroom, but I have all my life. You come in at 8 a.m. for a meeting. You go to the field. No come out on Katife, over TV, all through NBS and all my life. I was shooting, editing. Now what a camera, then shooting a mauli. Then come on in
Noga editing.
Then voicing that. Then editing that.
Kulire n'olyekolera.
Ngati nza ino gasoma ku saa 3. Obokitegeera. Kati nova ku office saawa 4. Nino gamba.
The money is not
Is
worth
the money
it.
worth it from 8 to 10? But if you have the passion and you love what you're doing it and you're not doing it for the money, but you're doing it for the passion. And when you do it for the passion, someone else sees you.
At what point does passion meet man?
Anti kati wenzija. Wokola ekintu kyoyagala n'okikola n'omutima gwo gwonna n'okiwa n'oweekuza n'okikuliramu ng'okikola okyagala. You do it so well that the world notices you.
And start paying.
And then they start paying you.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
but if you're just doing it for the money, you start to grumble. Nebanza sulomsente kutono. Sijja bikola. Nja kola ko kitundu. Kamboye bebanza sulidde. Bichi.
Kanji yeye ekirala olwaleero si.
And you just do mediocrity. You become a mediocre and you don't perfect your art.
And it doesn't pay.
And it doesn't pay. So you remain there. Guess what? Baba bagamba tugenda sala bakozi.
Gosooka.
Kubanga editor wo supervisor wakula agamba ha oyo nga yemulugunya omugambo kola akantu.
Baleeta
Naye
story
nsooka nateeka omumwa mu nnyindo.
tazimaliriza.
Oba okitegeera ali awo. Oba okitegeera.
Sure.
Naye obanga kyokola, you're passionate about it, money becomes the reward and not the reason for doing it. Oba okitegeera. And when you do something passionately, the world sees you. And then you now start to earn from it.
Solomon, for us these days, we have another of the world seeing us. My part is to dress well. Hey, wabayo ba boss, one for the road.
Muganda wange, ate kyo kiri sustainable. Kyo kiri sustainable. One for
Naye
the road.
byetukola.